What's up, football fans? Today, we're going to be talking about 10 straight minutes of football facts and history. If you make it to the end of the video and you enjoy the video, be sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more football-related content. Let's get it. During the 2010 season, the San Diego Chargers became the first and up to this point only team in NFL history to have the #1 offense and the #1 defense in the entire league and not make the playoffs. From 2017 to 2020, we saw a weird streak of ties where each #1 pick between those years started off their NFL career with one tie before getting their first win. In 2020, Joe Burrow started 0-2-1 before getting his first win. In 2019, Kyler Murray started 0-3-1 before getting his first win. In 2018, Baker Mayfield started off 0-1-1 before getting his first win. In 2017, Myles Garrett started off 0-17-1 before getting his first win. The Houston Oilers have won their division more recently than the Cleveland Browns. In 1999, the Cleveland Browns returned for their first season since 1995. And the first person to score a rushing touchdown for them was none other than the kicker, Phil Dawson. The Giants haven't had an All-Pro quarterback since 1963, with their last All-Pro quarterback being Y.A. Tittle. The Jacksonville Jaguars had an impressive record going 14-2 in 1999. Their only two losses came to the Tennessee Titans in that regular season. They would go on to lose in the AFC Championship game that year, also to the Tennessee Titans. In his legendary NFL career, Dan Marino has only had one 1,000-yard rusher on his team in his entire career, and his name, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. In the 2018 NFL Draft, the 7th pick was filled by future MVP Josh Allen, being taken by the Buffalo Bills. The following year, during the 2019 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars would take with the 7th pick linebacker Josh Allen. NFL Hall of Famer Jerry Rice had a legendary career, and he holds the record for receiving yards by a player after 40 years old. Who's #2 in receiving yards by a player after 40? Tom Brady. The Green Bay Packers are the oldest team in the NFL that still holds its original name, and they have never been relocated. There are 32 teams in the NFL, and out of those 32, 31 teams have a logo on their helmet. The Cleveland Browns are the only team without a logo on their helmet. While in 1947, the Rams became the first team to have a logo placed on their helmet. There have been more than 80 different quarterbacks in NFL history to throw for 4,000 yards. And in 1967, Joe Namath became the first person to achieve this feat. Speaking of 4,000-yard passing seasons, at the time of this recording, every NFL team has had at least one 4,000-yard passer, except for the Chicago Bears. In the 2017 season, the Cleveland Browns started off the preseason 4-0. And would go on to go 0-16 during the regular season. In 1997, during the game versus the Carolina Panthers, Brad Johnson, quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, became the first NFL player to be credited with throwing a touchdown pass to himself. In 1988, Doug Williams became the first black quarterback to start in a Super Bowl. He will also become the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. And during that same Super Bowl game, rookie running back Timmy Smith made his first career start. And during this game, he would go on to rush for 204 yards, a Super Bowl record that still stands today. Josh Gordon is the only NFL player to record 200+ receiving yards in consecutive regular season games. Marcus Allen is the only player in history to win a college football championship, the Heisman Trophy, the NFL MVP, a Super Bowl championship, and a Super Bowl MVP. There wouldn't be Thanksgiving football without the Detroit Lions. Did you know they've played on every Thanksgiving since 1934? with the exception of the years during the World War II. In 1983, during a game versus the LA Raiders, the Seahawks would record a net total of 2 passing yards, and they would proceed to win the game, 38-36. The Detroit Lions have the NFL record for fewest total rushing yards by a team in a game, when they rushed for minus 53 yards during the game versus the Chicago Cardinals in 1943. During the 2019 season, the Dolphins' leading rusher would be no other than quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick. During the 2014 season, the Kansas City Chiefs would finish the season with 0 touchdowns thrown to wide receivers. During the 2025 season, the New York Jets will become the first team in NFL history to not record a single interception during the season. Kurt Warner is the only undrafted player in NFL history to win an MVP. The Carolina Panthers once won their division 3 years in a row, but they have never had back-to-back winning seasons. In 2002, during a game versus the Steelers and the Texans, the Steelers would go on to outgain the Texans in total yardage with a staggering 422 yards to 47 yards, and the Steelers would go on to lose the game 24-6. In 1973, O.J. Simpson became the first NFL player to rush for 2,000 yards. He also did this during an amazing, impressive 14-game season. In 2024, Leonard Williams recorded a 92-yard pick six. That would be the longest pick six by a player over 300 pounds. In 1999, the Saints had 2 quarterbacks on the roster with the name Billy Joe. Billy Joe Herbert and Billy Joe Tolliver. And they both will go on to start 7 games each. In 1987, after winning the Super Bowl versus the Denver Broncos, New York Giants starting quarterback Phil Simms will be the first player to say live, "I'm going to Disney World." Andy Dalton is currently the only quarterback in NFL history to start a season 8-0 and 0-8. Tom Brady has played in more Super Bowls than he has faced the Cleveland Browns in his career. He's been to 10 Super Bowls, and he's only played the Cleveland Browns 9 times. Cam Newton has 2 400-yard passing games in his career, and they both occurred in the first 2 games that he ever played in. Julio Jones is the first NFL player to have 5 straight seasons with 1,400 yards. Peyton and Eli Manning both had 2 Super Bowl victories while having the exact same playoff QBR of 87.4. A wide receiver has never won the NFL MVP award. In 1982, a kicker, Mark Mosley, won the NFL MVP award. The Pittsburgh Steelers have had 17 total coaches since 1933. The Cleveland Browns have had 13 total coaches since 2000. In 2014, in a game versus the Raiders and the Patriots, every point scored was by someone with Kowski in their last name. Sebastian Janikowski, Rob Gronkowski, and Steven Gostkowski. In 1974, Ken Stabler became the first left-handed quarterback to win the MVP. And during the 1976 season, he would become the first left-handed quarterback to win a Super Bowl. The legendary Jim Brown has an NFL record 8 rushing titles. In the 1974 draft, in the 17th round, with the 428th pick, the Green Bay Packers selected Randall Woodfield, who would also end up being known as the I-5 serial killer. He killed over 40 plus people, and he's easily known as probably the deadliest and craziest NFL player in history. Current Chargers coach and former NFL player Jim Harbaugh has more rushing yards in his career than Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson has 2,782 rushing yards, and Jim Harbaugh has 2,787 career rushing yards. In 1943, Sammy Baugh led the NFL in completion percentage, defensive interceptions, and he was the NFL punting leader. Imagine being the best quarterback, best DB, and the best kicker at the time. The 1995 Tampa Bay Buccaneers had more wins during that season than they had passing touchdowns during that season. NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders is currently the only athlete to play in the Super Bowl and in the World Series. Brett Favre's first ever pass was a pick six, and his first ever completion was a completion to himself.